Great morning to y'all. Hope you guys all woke up grateful that you got another day. I hope that you've reminded yourself of all of the things to be grateful for. I hope you guys have been pushing past any kind of limitations in your life, automatically training your brain that anytime you see a limitation, understanding that you have alone yourself put it there, get creative, okay? Push past it. I hope that you guys are seeing obstacles as a time for it's an opportunity to grow. I hope that you guys are, seeing setbacks as a time for redirection. I hope that you guys are understanding a little bit more about yourselves. I hope that you guys are being able to get through things a little easier. Mind you, if you need help with that, we got all kinds of videos in a one place. You can easily access all of the videos up on the channel. Okay. It's a one-stop shop for tools on all kinds of topics. Why do we come out here and do this? Because we want to help you guys. Simple. It helps us. It helps you. It's not easy when you're living anything, any situation, circumstance. There's a lot of things happening right now. I had a topic for this morning, but it has recently changed. Why? Because there's a lot of single moms out there having a really tough time. Okay. And I have to address that. You guys got to know. I want to listen, all you single parents out there. You guys can get through this. Okay. It was brought to my attention there's somebody that's having a really rough time. Wendell, I'm going to bring you on. I just see you coming on. I'm going to get him on. All right, so Wendell's going to jump on. Hey, morning, Trish. No extraction. It's got to be surgically removed tomorrow, next week. So I'm good to go for a couple more days. Hey, good morning. Great morning.
Hey, good morning. Great morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I wanted to talk to you about your video, but I just hopped online and I got somebody reached out to me. Okay. There's a lot of single moms that are having a really, really hard time and they don't seem to have the support. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit this morning before we talk about anything else.
Okay.
Look, there's a single mom that reached out to me who's got 3 teenage daughters. She's having a hard time. And she doesn't have the support or the resources to help her get through this. And there's a lot of moms feeling the same thing right now. All right?
Yep.
Now, there's a lot of people that are going through the thick of some stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're living it, they don't see a way out because they are so stuck in the situation.
Yeah, so deep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, whoever's out there with kids, there is support. Don't stay stuck in your mess of it. You feel embarrassed? Yes, I get it. You feel like a failure. You don't feel like a good parent. Get that stuff out of your head. Okay? I did that to myself for years. Okay? Don't do that because your kids see that. And when they watch you handling your stuff, that's teaching them how to handle their stuff. You don't want that. Okay? You don't want kids to be watching you freaking out constantly and not getting a grip or not looking for help when you need it. Okay? And that's huge. Because remember something, your children are learning more from what they are watching from you than what you are telling them. Understand that. So all you single parents out there, stop being shy or ashamed. Everybody is going through hard times. People will understand your situation if you open up and you talk to them. You have to do it. Okay? Everybody loves to put on the, oh, everything's okay, but behind closed doors, your kids are suffering, and so are you. Don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to your children. It's not fair. It's not fair for you, and it's not fair for them. And it creates an ongoing cycle after that. Okay, because they're going to grow up doing the same thing you did.
Right.
Okay, so I had to address all of you guys this morning. It's okay to be a single parent. It's okay for things not to work out the way you wanted them or wish them to be. But don't complain about how your children are acting if you can't take a look at how you're acting. Straight up. And don't blame them until you can take a good look at why they're like that. All right? Seriously. All right, on to lighter topics. Wendell, sorry, man, I had to speak on that. You know,
Actually,
I,
can I just touch a little bit on that? Just a little bit?
yes,
Okay. Because I mean,
please do.
me personally, I'm not a single parent, right? Like my daughter's moms are, but I'm not a single parent. And I do know um on a father's perspective that sometimes it's a little bit more challenging because first of all, let's just snip this first in the bud. So parenting is supposed to be two people. There's no parenting should not is not meant to be for just one person.
That's
There's
right.
supposed to be the mother and the father, and they're called parents. If there was not that case, then the mother or the father, just the father, would be considered parents. But we're we're not really considered that. And also, um, you know, even though you're in a situation where you thought this person was going to be your forever after and things just ends up happening, you end up having children with this person, and then that person just pieces out, it doesn't make you the failure because you had the intention of trying to build something with this person. The actual failure was the other person because they could not step up to the plate and handle the situation. Sometimes, you get into something where, oh, this is not exactly how I planned it, but you know what? I'm gonna battle through this because I have to claim responsibility for my actions, right? It takes two people to make a child, not one, right? So I think that, the decision that mothers are making with regards to their children. Yes, you love your kids. Yes, I have a lot of friends that are single moms and and I see them struggling all the time because they're trying so hard to give their child their best life, but their life in itself is not good enough to do that. So what they're doing is they're taking away from their life to give to their children. So now they have no life while their children have the best life. And I get that. I totally get that. As human beings, we have that compassion. As a mother, you're supposed to have that compassion. But in reality, what you should be doing is you should be coming to a compromise because you still need a life too, whether you believe it or not.
Oh,
A
for
mother
sure.
a mother needs to have her life too. And I don't
Yes.
mean like, I'm not talking about like, sending your kids to a babysitter or to a friend's house so that they can have their fun in the hay or whatever it is. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, you know, it's okay for your children to not have everything. If they have something, it's better than nothing. But some mothers want their kids to have everything, and I get that. But we also need to be realistic because as a mother, as you keep giving and giving and giving and giving and taking away from yourself, now you're putting yourself down in a sense that now you're struggling, you're frustrated, you're depressed, whatever the case may be. And at one point in time, it builds up, it builds up, it builds up, it builds up. It's gonna come out. And when it comes out, you're gonna have no control over how it comes out, other than the fact that it's just gonna be pure anger, resentment, hatred, whatever. And if your child is in the line of fire,
I
it's
know.
it's it's I don't need to I don't need to get into any more detail than that. So I was just putting in my 2 cents just to say that, you know, don't hate yourself in regards to how your child is coming or how your life is, because we life is what we make it. Our decisions,
Exactly.
sometimes we become victim of our decisions. Decisions always have consequences, and the only way that we come out of that is by accepting the consequence, reassessing what we need to do, and just do it differently and keep going. So I just wanted to touch on
Yeah, but that's true. That's what we got to do. But listen, there's a lot of people a lot of single parents right now, what's happening is they're so overwhelmed with the situation at hand and they're
of course,
telling themselves all the wrong things.
of course.
Okay. So therefore, they're sitting there and blaming themselves and shaming themselves and denying themselves. First, primarily, their kids are watching them do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then these same parents are trying to parent their children as, oh, you do this and be like that and be like that, but can't even be that way themselves.
Right.
And it's a huge problem,
Oh yeah,
huge
absolutely,
problem. Okay.
absolutely.
Honestly, because yes, we all have individual situations which lead us to be single parents. Okay.
Hmm.
I was a single parent. My children are grown now, they're adults. But these women that are reaching out to me right now that have more than one child, they are in the thick of it. Why? Because of the things that they're telling themselves.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Seriously, we can handle anything that's thrown our way no matter what. It
Right.
is our perspective. It doesn't matter if we're a single parent. It doesn't matter. Listen, I can be open and honest that I was a drug addict for years. I'm sober today. And not because of rehab. It's because of the things I chose to start telling myself. Okay. But
Okay.
also, just in me bettering myself, whether my children are adults or not, they feel the effects of it. Okay. They feel the effects of their mother being sober and fighting to stay alive instead of giving up. So that was my point of it all.
Okay.
Basically, it doesn't matter what we're living. It doesn't matter. It's what we're telling ourselves and what we're telling others and what we're allowing our children to see.
Hmm.
Because by observation, these children are watching our every move more than
Oh
what we're
yeah,
telling them.
that's true.
And
Absolutely.
why? Because I know this because of this certification that I keep plummeting into and I keep learning more and more and more and more. Hey, we are so programmed and we model everything around us. That's how we learn how to have relationships. It's how we learn how to interact. That's how we learn how to respond. Hey, your kid is learning more from watching you than whatever you're telling them. Okay? These people that are suffering in these single parent situations, yeah, it's hard. And yeah, it always takes two parents. And yeah, people in this day and age are going to make all the excuses about why they can't be there for their kids. But are these the people that can be there for their damn self? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And these
Absolutely.
kids are watching that too.
Yeah.
Because if the kid is watching one of their parents be a cop out, well, guess what? That's giving them the permission slip to do the exact damn thing.
Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely.
Okay? Listen, I had a walk of life that no child should have seen. But I didn't hide anything from my kids. Nothing. And I showed them who I was as a person, which helped them be who they are today. You see? And
Yeah.
listen, I was a single parent, yes, raising both of my children, but I gave them the tools that they needed to overcome anything today. Doesn't matter what they went through, and it doesn't matter what I went through.
Yeah.
You see? I don't have
Yeah.
to run to my daughter who just had a kid, and I don't have to run to my son. They are strong individual warrior beings just like their mother.
Mm.
You see? But if a child is watching you crumble and allowing yourself to sit there and talk shit to yourself and talk shit to everybody else and the lies you tell people and the
Hmm.
excuses you tell people, well, guess what? They're going to do the damn same thing.
Hmm. Yep.
And that's the
Absolutely.
problem.
That is a problem. I agree with
And
you
there's
100%.
too much of it happening. And that's why this morning when I came on before, I had to light up about this stuff, because people don't realize that while they're living in it, they can't see what others are seeing.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I'm heartfelt about it because, you know what? Kids don't have to be my kids for me to put my life on the line for them. You feel me? I
Yeah.
don't care whose child it is. I will stand up for that kid and look out if I have to.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm watching people going through all of these things, but listen, there are so many tools and resources nowadays that weren't there. So there's no excuse for anybody today to sit there and say, oh, well, or pick up the phone, call somebody to talk to, work it out, find the resource that works for you, get help for your kids. Don't sit there in shame and embarrassment and allow your kids to suffer from it.
Yeah. I agree. 100.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah. Totally.
That's how I'm feeling this morning, Wendell. And
I
don't
see.
feel like I'm taking it out on you, but I'm
Oh, no,
heartfelt.
not at all.
I'm tired of children feeling the brunt end of it because their parents are fucked. I'm just tired of it. Why? Because of the things that they're telling themselves. And they don't realize that that child is watching them. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Totally get
They
it.
put on such a great show for the world, for everybody else to see them. But their kids are truly seeing them for who they are. How do I know this? I lived it. My father was a hero to the world, but behind closed doors, holy fuck. Why do you think he was nicknamed the Grim Reaper? Okay? Seriously.
So on a happier note, but
Happier note, great morning to you. But these parents
right.
need to find resources, and that's my stress about it all. Fix
No, I see.
yourself so your kids don't suffer.
And
Simple.
don't
And
and
there's
don't get
no
me wrong.
excuse.
And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of women out there that are doing it good too. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh, for
see there's some
sure.
women
Hey,
like absolutely like,
that's
great.
not what I'm addressing this morning.
No, I understand
What
that.
I'm addressing is all of these parents who
Mhm.
aren't taking a look at themselves. Okay, I want to make excuses and blame their children for how they're feeling or how their kids are living. Don't blame the kid ever. You better take a look at your own damn self and your parenting. Straight up. Don't be blaming your kids or
Yeah.
society. You created the child and you created the thinking patterns and the paradigms and the pay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was heartfelt about. And I'm sorry for coming out like this morning, but hey, that touches my heart. And any kid that's involved, no, I'm sorry. I was that kid that got abused. And I was that kid that was left with a babysitter and ended up raped. And I was that kid. No, no, no. You feel me, Wendell? That's why I'm heartfelt. Seriously. Kids, women, we're going to change the topic, but I'm going to address you all, men, women, whatever. You guys got kids, and these children are watching you. Fix yourselves and check yourselves, because there's no excuse for that. Simple. You're living in your bodies. You're living in your life. You're creating your life and your kid's life. So let's get it right. Check your own damn selves, because your kids are watching you. They really see who you are. Trust. You can wear 50 masks for the world, but your kids really see you. All right, Wendell, let's lighten this up this
Yeah.
morning.
Trying. You keep going back there. I'm trying. But let's see. So I think you said something that you had to see what was it that you said? There was something that you said something about that you were dealing with, or you had to see something or something.
Oh,
Anyways,
yesterday for my extraction for the
yes.
staph thing going on in my face,
So how
they
was
did
that?
the x-rays, and yes, even though the roof of my mouth and all of the roots are exposed,
Oh wow.
it's not behind the tooth yet, but I
Mhm.
have to see a specialist, ear, nose, and throat specialist that finally called me.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of like, all right, I got to call him today, and let him know that I was seen in the results of the x-rays and da-da-da. So I got like a network of calls to make, and then I'll know how we proceed with this, because it's got to be a surgical removal and I can't have surgery.
Oh, yeah. Oh wow.
So there's a lot of things happening with me, but that's okay. I'm okay. I'm not freaking out about it. I'm not worried.
That's good.
I listen, I've gotten through a lot worse, eh?
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
This
Because
is nothing. And to be
you're a
honest with you,
Viking.
I'm already losing half of the feeling in my face. As you can see, my lip is going down, and the dentist confirmed that yesterday. But you know what? It's okay. It's
Hmm.
okay. Hey, look, I can still smile.
Yeah, that's all that matters. That's all that
So
matters.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good stuff.
I'm good. So, I'm good looking out though, but I'm good. I've got a good mindset. I tell myself good things.
Yeah.
If I didn't want to be alive enjoying life, I'd be dead a long time ago.
Yeah. It's funny
And
though because I'm seeing like all the people that you know, and I know like a lot of them. So I'm wondering if like you said, I remember I think it was yesterday or the day before you said something that maybe at some point when we were younger we may have crossed paths or something.
very
I'm thinking,
possible.
yeah, because like I remember faces and everything, but when you get older, you kind of just it's like
Well, I can guarantee you
stuff.
this. If you and I, our paths haven't crossed in life like that, well, you've guaranteed had a friend that told you a story about me at some point. Okay?
Uh,
And it affects them so much. Yes, Tash, you're right. Good morning, everybody. I got so into it that I didn't even see who was coming on. No, really. And I'm only seeing
uh,
like,
no, I know.
and Lee's now too. Quite eye opening. Thank you. Morning from Brome. Oh, yeah. You see, Brome is where I grew up. That's in the Eastern
Yes,
Townships. So
yes, I
before I
remember you.
came to the city at 11 years old, Lee's, hey, she grew up right up the street on a farm. And you know what? She even babysat me.
Oh wow.
The girl that just put the car, she babysat me. Hey,
Hmm, that's funny.
no, it's
That's
amazing. It's
yeah,
amazing. And you
that's
know
cool.
what? I was letting it out this morning, and I didn't see who was coming on viewing, but you know what? I appreciate you all, and yeah, I just want people to get it right. Simple. Get it right for themselves and get it right for their kids because yes, everything matters. And in this experience, you do matter the most. So you got to get it right because there's a ripple effect and everything touches, there's nothing that's excluded. So it's all the little things. And we don't take a look at that stuff. And those end up to be the most major things.
Yeah, ripple effect.
How are you doing? So let's get you out here talking. I think I've said enough this morning.
No, but no, but we should do that's an actually good idea. We should do a series about getting it right, because a lot of people I find that, like you said, people get stuck in their ways and then they think like, oh, like what am I doing wrong? How do I get it right? Right? So I
Well,
think that would
guess
be a
what?
good
I'm creating a course
okay.
about getting it right.
There you go.
That'll
Okay.
be offered online for people to take.
Okay.
I'll be presenting it to you guys as soon as it's ready
Okay. Good. Good, good, good.
because there's a lot of things. I took that self mastery program and I
Yes, I saw.
graduated and I took a couple of other programs and I'm doing the NLP certification. My mind is not the same as it used to be. I have learned so much about myself that I never thought I even had to look at.
Hmm. Okay. That's
Is
great.
there somebody wanting to come on?
No, but if they do, bring them on. Bring them on. Bring them on.
Oh, I love yours to join you on video. I don't, Lise, do you want to join us? Is that you coming on? Do you want to come on live, Lise? Let me know if she's still on. Lise, if you're on, and if that's you requesting to come and join us on live, I will definitely add you on, girl. I just don't know if that's a request coming in or not. So,
Oh, I see. Okay, so you just
Yeah, you see, I see it when you come in, and that's why I'm wondering if she wants to come on live, because I see like the same thing that when you're coming on.
yeah. Just out of curiosity, how many people could you bring on at a time? Does
I
it
don't
say?
know. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't done this stuff before. Like this is when I started the lives and stuff. What I've got maybe 50 videos up already, but I I didn't really, like I told you, you're gonna have to show me how to do the Q&A and the polls and this and that, but we just haven't had time to even,
Yeah.
people probably think that we talk off of these lives, but this is why we don't even chat outside the lives really.
It's true. No, you're right. I think
So what we have to do is we have to kind of pick a time on the weekend when you're available
okay.
to sit down, and we'll go on like one of these cam meetings, and we'll go on
Yeah.
the site, like, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
To fix
absolutely.
some details and stuff, because
Yeah.
whenever you have the time.
Yeah. Okay. Like Saturday and Sundays I'm usually free, but it's like
Okay.
like you said, like when you have that one day to yourself, like that day for me is Sunday because I just like to do my laundry, cook for the week, whatever, clean, whatever, and then just kind of turn the
Yeah,
brain
a
off.
you day. A you day.
A you day, exactly. Monday,
So
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you day. There you
yeah,
go. There you
yeah.
go.
But that's not how people have to see it, and you got to take that. You
Oh
got to
yeah,
take that, and like you were mentioning also too about when you're single parenting, you still need a life. It's true, and that's the huge problem. Is because as parents, we don't put ourselves first. But we
right.
don't do that. And that's
That's
simple.
right.
I didn't do that either. And I lost myself in all of that. And I've
Yeah.
been trying to get myself back, or
Mm-hmm.
become a better person ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so
Tough.
important. We
No,
have
it's
to
tough.
put ourselves first no matter what. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many kids you got. It doesn't matter what kind of job you got. It doesn't matter what you're
Right.
going through. You need
That's right.
that you time. You need to center yourself. You need to fix your thoughts. You need
Right.
to take a look at the thoughts that are governing your life, period.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because this stuff is creating feelings in your body. So, so how's this training stuff going?
It's going pretty good. Yesterday it was funny though because I was on my feet a lot, so I started feeling like this not like a pinched nerve, but it was more like what do you call like the sciatic. So there was like on my back lower, like just above my waist to the left, sat down, or I think I had dropped a pen or something, and I sat down and I reached over for it. Maybe I reached the wrong way or something, and I was sitting in the back, and then the the instructor, because we were taking turns with different subjects, right? So he's like, okay, I'm going to turn it over to Wendell. Wendell's going to come in here and talk to you guys about the monitors and all that kind of stuff. So I said, okay. So I got up, I went to the front, and we have like this little stool thing. Like it's like a bar stool, but it turns, right? So I'm sitting in the stool, and I'm talking to the class, and I'm kind of just like, as I'm talking, I just like to rock a little bit just to you know, get the juices flowing kind of thing. And as I'm turning, I'm like, every time I turn this way, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of painful. So anyway, so in the middle of just close to the end, I started feeling like dizzy, you know. So I just battled through it, and then I said, okay, guys, just take a 15-minute break, and then I got up, I went outside and I kind of walked, got some air, and then I tried to bend over and stretch it out. I was doing some stretching, and then I realized I forgot to do stretching, you know. So just little things like that, it's like I'm still, like I'm getting the gist of it, but I'm still like forgetting like the basic stuff. So yesterday he pulled me in the office and he was just like, okay, so we're falling behind now. And I said, yeah, well, I'm not used to 20 people. Like usually we do 9, 8. So this was the biggest group that we had so far, right? So I'm looking and I remember the other trainer, like she would always talk, like she'd always see like if people were sleeping and stuff. So she'd like ask them questions to test them. So I seen some people that looked like, everybody seemed to be like alert and getting it. And then there was this one guy, and he was just kind of sitting in the middle, and he was just like, So I said, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you getting this? And he's like, yeah. I said, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I said, okay. So I continue going on, and then break time, I go outside, and he's a smoker, So he goes outside, and I was just like watching everybody kind of thing, seeing what's going on, and then I see him, and then he says, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I go over to him, and then he's like, he's like, I feel like you're picking on me. So I was like, what? I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, I apologize if you feel that. Like, why do you feel like I'm picking on you? He's like, oh, because you keep asking me if I'm sleeping. And I'm like, well, when I look at you, because you're sitting right in the front, I see you go like this. And he's like, oh, and then he starts laughing, and he's like, no, that's just my natural look. So I'm just like, okay. So then the second part of the course, I start like just keep looking at him, and I just see him. He's just like. So I'm like, okay, maybe that is his natural look, because I didn't really pick it up, right? Because I can't focus on just one person. Like I have to look at the whole class equally, right? So yeah. And then there was this woman. She's like a Spanish woman, and she was asking me a question, and I wasn't sure. I mean, I knew what the question was, and I was trying to explain it to her, and she wasn't getting the answer. And she's like, I don't agree with that. I'm like, okay, but why don't you agree with that? She's like, because you're not making sense. And I saw she was getting frustrated with the answer to my question. And I told her, I said, well, if the answer I'm giving you is not to your satisfaction, you can go and see Dave, and maybe, you guys could sit down and discuss it. And then maybe Dave has a better way of explaining it than I do. But this is the best way I know how to explain it to you. And then she was just like, yeah, because I just don't make it doesn't make sense how you hold the button on the monitor and then it does this thing. I'm like, well, that's just the way it is. And then she was just like, okay, but it can't be just the way it is. Like, you need an explanation. I said, well, no, because it's an older model. So there is no other way to explain it. That's just the way that technology was made for that time. And then she was like, well, why are we using old monitors? And I was like, okay. I'm like, okay, you know what? You need to talk to Dave, and Dave will explain it better for you. So then I go to the kitchen after I had that conversation, and everybody's sitting down and having lunch. I go in the fridge, I get my lunch, and I sit down, and then she sits down and she's on her phone. And then she looks over to me, and then after I was like, so I said, did you talk to Dave? Like, did you get your answer about the monitor? And then she was like, no. And then she's like, do you have a problem with me? And I was like, what? And she's like, do you have a problem with me? And I said, no, not at all. I said, why do you think I have a why would you think I have a problem with you? She's like, well, I ask a lot of questions and you seem a little upset. I said, no, 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 no. I said, if I seem upset, I apologize. It's just that I want to answer your questions. Like, I want everybody to leave here knowing what they're doing. So she's like, okay. And then at the end of the day, I go to see my assistant, because she helps me with like the stuff and monitors and paperwork and all that stuff. So she's like, wow. She goes, what did she say? She said, wow. And she's an Indian woman. So she's like, and she had a very thick accent. She's like, wow. She goes, you're, what did she say? She said, like, wow, that was a pretty interesting class. And I started laughing. I'm like, what do you mean by interesting? Because sometimes she'll say words that, like they're not familiar with English yet. So they use these other words, which is funny because I know what she wants to say, but the word that that she uses, it makes the statement sound that more funny. I don't know how to, that's the best way I can explain it. But and I asked her, I said, so how do you think I'm doing? And then she's like, well, I didn't see you too much, but I did see, like, when you were talking about the monitors, you got a little lost a bit. I said, yeah. I said, actually, I did, because I felt like I was taking too much time, because everybody kept asking me questions. She goes, yeah. She goes, that's really challenging. She goes, you handled it well, but it's really challenging. Sometimes you kind of just have to cut the questions and just keep going, and then tell them that you'll deal with them on the side afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, I think that's what
Well,
Dave meant.
was that a new recruit, or was that somebody
Yeah,
who
yeah.
is actually put in your class position there to give you that exact type of stress to see how you would react?
No, I always deal with new recruits. It's all new recruits.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, did the administration of this place put her there to test you?
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think
to
they're.
be
I don't
that
think they're.
question, to be that person to
I
sit
don't
there
think
and
they're crap.
question you, and to
No,
to
I don't
get
think.
your juices flowing to see how you'd
No,
react?
no. I
No?
don't think. I don't think they're creative to that point. Maybe it
Okay.
was. Maybe it
Okay.
was the
Because I'm going to
Almighty.
tell you something. If I was a director of a company in doing what you're doing, you're definite. I would put 2 students in that class that will push your buttons to your extreme, because I want to know how you're going to handle that, because that's
Absolutely.
guaranteed to happen.
Oh yeah, I can
So
see
I
that.
know my personally, I would do it. I would put a couple of students in there, Mr. Wendell. Wendell.
No, it's funny because the class before this girl, Donna Lee, this girl's like gangster, right? So anyway, and she's been doing this a long time. So she was kind of like showing me a little bit how to stuff because I think that's why they wanted me there to cover her because now she's on vacation. She's supposed to be coming back next week. So anyway, so we're sitting in the class. She was showing me how like I was sitting in the back and I was watching her do her thing, you know, and I was taking notes and stuff. And this one kid fell asleep and she was talking and she's like talking da da da, and then she just looks and then she just stops and I was just like, you know, what's going on up there, you know? And she's like, oh my god. She goes, and she just looks, and I look over and I see the guy like from the back. I see him like this, you know. So I was like, oh shoot, this guy must be sleeping, you know. So then she's like, Wendell, can you believe this? And then she's like, and she just goes like this. So she continues teaching the class, and then then I see the guy like you know adjust, and then she's like, are you okay? And then he's like, yeah. She's like, are you sure? So she's like, he's like, yeah, and he's like, okay, cause I don't like people sleeping in my class. So if you need to get up, like, actually, you know what? Stand up. So then she stands. So the guy stands up, and then continues teaching the course. Then she sends everybody on break, and then she comes to me. And she's like, Wendell. She goes, unfucking believable. I was just like, wow, what's going on? You know?
Okay, so basically she took it personal.
I don't know if she took it personal because I think she deals with a
Or
lot of.
she was shocked that he fell asleep in her class. Was that the first time it happened?
I don't think so. I think because when I left, when I went back in the thing, she's like Wendell. She goes, I was just about to pull the air horn out, and I was like, wow, Donnelly, you're gangster. Like you would have scared the whole class. She's like, yeah, but at least I would have preferred to scare him, you know, so that he would never do that again. She goes, can you believe that? And I was just like, yeah, whatever. So then after we go back to class, and then she's like, you come with me. She goes, everybody she goes, Wendell, can you just come and show them how to use the monitors? And I said, yeah, okay. So I go and I show him the monitors, and I'm like, what's going on, you know? So then he comes back in, he takes his papers, and he leaves. So I'm just like, so I go to her and I said, you kicked him out? And she's like, yeah. She goes, I can't do this anymore. She goes, this guy, he's like just falling asleep all over the place. So I was like, okay, you know, what can you do, right?
Well, I hope she assessed what the situation was before she
Oh
did
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, because she was saying like she told me she asked him and she's like, so I said, so what did he say? You know, she's like, oh well, he just said like you know he's tired and he didn't eat, and I was like, I'm like he didn't eat, and I was sitting in the lunchroom and he was right in front of me and he had this huge freaking casserole, like you know those glass casserole bowls that you make lasagna in, the small ones. He had like potatoes and asparagus and chicken, and he was eating in front of me, so I'm like, why would he lie and say he didn't eat? You know? I said, maybe he ate too much. And she's like, yeah, but
No,
still,
but
why would
maybe it was before you guys went on break he was talking about. Because if he ate that at lunchtime, listen, I know that I have problems with my blood sugars, and if I don't have something to sit with in even a training, like if my blood sugars, because brain power works sometimes more than your physical power, right? Uses more energy. And if I'm sitting there in a training or in a school, like I went to college and sitting in those classes that were, hey, if I didn't have something for my sugar levels, I would actually doze off. And it wasn't that I wasn't interested or I wasn't in tune with what was happening. It was I was using so much of my brain power that my blood sugars would drop while I'm sitting in class. And
so
if
you're
I
not
didn't have
diabetic?
something to, eh?
So you're not diabetic?
I have a problem with low blood sugars, and the reason why they can't give me a diagnosis of being diabetic is because you need to fast for 12 hours to be able to have the test. I can't fast for 12 hours. I go unconscious if I do.
Yeah. Okay.
So they know, I know. That's all that needs to know. You like it.
That's all. Yeah.
I
Right.
but there could be all different kinds of
Oh yeah.
situations that made this guy fall asleep.
Yeah. And what I think it is though, because what before this incident, You know, I was outside and he was like walking around and he was holding his vape and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I need another vape. Like I ran out of vape and I'm like, okay. And he's like, there's a place here in Airdrie, but I don't know where it is. And I'm like, okay. I said, what's the name of the place? So then after he Googles it and then he tells me where it is and I'm like, oh, okay. I said, it's just down the street. I said, if you want, I could drive you there, you know? And he's like, seriously? I said, yeah, yeah, I'll just drive you there as long as it's you're just going there and coming out. He's like, yeah, 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 no problem. I said, okay. So I go, I drive him there. He goes in. And he comes out and I bring him back and he's like, thanks very much. And I was just like, okay, he seemed like a cool guy or whatever, you know? But then I don't know what was in that vape thing, right? Like I thought maybe it was just like, you know, nicotine or something. Maybe but then it doesn't make sense for him to do that because we do drug testing anyway. So it's
You
like,
what?
we do like drug testing, like drug and alcohol testing because how we do that on
Well,
the
yeah,
first day.
because it's oil and there's all kinds
Like
of
tests,
stuff
yeah.
that I know. My brother went out there to work for a couple of years, and it's not. They get yeah. You
Yeah.
got to
So
be
he's,
clean. You got to have a logic mind.
yeah, exactly. So,
Simple as that. Like, look, there's a lot of things at stake when you're
yeah.
out in the field. Whether you're drilling, whether you're putting in those long
Mm-hmm.
big pipes, those things, all of
Yep.
the equipment. Hey,
Yep.
one false move, and that's a life on the line, and many others.
Yep, absolutely. So so
Oh,
yeah,
it's
so yeah, so he so needless to say, you know, so I told her I said so because sometimes she'll let them go and then come back at a later time, you know. And then
well,
there's
it could have been any situation, eh? It could have been any
yeah.
situation. People are living so much hardship right now in all across the board. Could have been any situation that forced that for that guy.
True. That's true. Yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much the gist of it, you know. But overall, like, you know, it's good. You know, I'm still liking it, you know. I would rather be out in the field though because I would make a lot more money doing that, but it's okay. And it's funny because they called me the other day and they asked me if I was interested in going out to this place for the end of August or middle of August, and I was just like, I might have to do that because you
You know
know,
what? What you have to do is when these opportunities come your way,
mm,
listen, you were just talking the other day about things you're in transition, right? And things are just you're piecing
mm-hmm,
things together and the bills and the everything, and we all have that stuff.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Now, when these phone calls come to you, that's the bigger picture throwing you opportunities.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
And it happens to us all. Now,
Yep.
whether but okay, I think my point of saying this is if we don't jump and seize those opportunities,
Yeah, I get it.
there's a, how would I say it? There's an understanding in the energies that you don't like. You get what I mean? I don't want to
No,
break
no,
it
no, I
down
get you.
too much.
I
People
get what
think
you're
I'm
saying.
nuts, but it's true. If you don't seize opportunities coming your way, they're going to stop coming. Simple.
Right. Yep, that's right. That's right.
Because the
And like
universe
I
gets
said,
a mixed message saying, okay, but you want this stuff, but then you're not doing anything about it. What I'm giving it to you. So, okay, no problem.
yeah.
And
But
then
the
the
beauty of
opportunities stop happening.
yeah, but the beauty about this thing too is with the training is that, you know, you actually get all this like it's like repetition, 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 like you said, you know. And then now when I go out in the field, it's gonna be like, you know, it's gonna be like nothing, you know. And then I'll
It
be like,
makes it
oh,
easier for you.
oh, it makes it so much easier, you know. Somebody be
All
like,
meant to
oh
be.
well, you know, I have to hook up this air trailer, and I'm like, air trailer? What are you talking about? Here, let's go to do this right now. Boop, 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 boop. Done. You're like, oh my god, how did this guy just do that? You know?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's all meant to be. It's all meant to be, but soon your schedule is going to fill up anyway.
exactly.
Give it a
But
couple of months and you know what? Because it's building stage, right? So
yep,
give it a couple of months because everything that you're learning and everything that you're mastering
yep,
is going to be applied everywhere.
absolutely. That's true.
So that's why I
Super
think
true.
it's great. And like I even said, hey, you could teach me a lot.
Absolutely. Totally down for that. Totally
You know,
down for
what
that.
was it? It was WMIS or whatever. It's the safety and security
Yeah,
for the workplace.
yeah. Well, there's workplace hazardous material information system, yeah, that's more for like the symbols and all that kind of stuff. But there is like a section where we talk about like workplace safety and hazard and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. How much time do you have? I know that I rented a good stint this morning. Holy shit.
Yeah, got about like a minute or two.
Hey?
So I got about like a minute or two.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to give you the floor to say a message before I wrap it up this morning.
Okay. So yeah, thanks for, again, everybody, for tuning in there. And you know, I know it's hard. You know, life is not meant to be easy, I guess, but we have to try to find an easy way to go about living that life, right? And to those parents out there, as we mentioned earlier, just keep doing what you're doing. Try to stay positive. Yes, your kids come first, but just always remember you come second. Don't forget about
Nah, nah,
yourself.
nah. You come first.
No, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. So, just take care of yourself, stay positive, stay focused. You know, don't get too caught up into trying so hard to please your children because, if you're not happy, your children are going to see that you're not happy and then it's pointless. You're going to try to make your kids happy for what? If you're not happy yourself, don't try to make your kids happy because it's not going to happen. Straight up. So just stay focused, take your time. You know, I know it's hard out there and with all the stuff that's going on. Just kind of try to focus on what's going on in your four walls as opposed to what's going on in the globe because, it is hard. So, you know,
Love you,
stay
Trish. Have a
positive.
great day, too. Sorry I had to cut you off.
So,
She just sent a
yeah.
message. Okay, keep going, Wendell.
All right.
Sorry.
Bye, Trish. Have a good day. So yeah, so just and also, as human beings, we have to reach out to other people that are going through that things too, right? Because everybody's going through the same thing, not exactly the same thing, but we're going through the same kind of motion. And sometimes, if you want that person to just reach out to you, don't wait for that person to reach out to you. Just look for that other person that's going through the same thing and you reach out to them, you know. Hey, I see you're struggling. If you need anybody to talk to, I'm here. We're all going through the same thing. Sometimes when people talk about their issues with someone who's going through the same thing, it's a little bit lighter on their load, you know? And the more that you can take off somebody's load, the more likely that person is gonna get out of it or stay positive or turn themselves around because all this stuff that's going on and how they're taking it and how you're taking it, it will eventually lead to depression. And then the minute you get to depression, you may not be able to be pulled back from depression because depression is a very deep pit that you don't want to fall into. You do not want to fall into. So just try to stay positive, stay focused. Like I said, reach out to someone who needs help, and don't say no when someone tries to reach out to talk to you, and think, oh, I'm going through my own thing. I don't want to talk about this right now. Just welcome that greeting, welcome that communication, because sometimes just talking to somebody can just take a load off of you. So just open yourself up to that and stay positive. That's the best thing I could say. So have everybody a wonderful and great day. Stay positive, stay focused, and do what makes you happy. You matter most.
Hey. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up this morning. Okay, train your brains. Seriously. Limitations, get creative. Obstacles, evolve, grow. It's an opportunity. Any kind of setback, it's time to redirect. Take the pause. Don't react. Respond. Okay, respond. Don't react to anything in life. Get it right. Why? Because you matter the most. It's as simple as that. Your kids are watching you if you're parents. Okay? Honestly, guys, there's so much support now out there. No matter what you're living, it all stems from your thoughts and your perspective of how you are dealing with it. It's nobody else's fault that you can't control your emotions. It's nobody else's fault that you can't control your thoughts. It's nobody else's fault that you make excuses for being the way that you are. Simple. Let's get it right. Okay? Let's get it right together. You need help doing it? Wendell and I are here. Plus, I got 3 other people on the team that can help you. Listen, honestly, everybody that knows me knows who I was. And just as extreme as I am today, I was in many walks of life. Look, we don't have it all perfect. We're not perfect human beings. Now, if a person like me can change my whole entire life and get it right and push you guys to get it right, there's no excuse for any single person out there. It's as simple as that. Okay? You guys, I love you all. You're sourced by an infinite, unconditional love that loves you no matter what. So get it right. Get the most out of your experience. Why? Because you matter the most. Before anything and anybody, your well-being matters. Straight up. And you have to honor that. Okay? So get it right today. I love you all. Have a great day. Wendell, love and light, my brother.
And light, my sister.
All right. Peace. Hey, Kelly. I see Kelly. Morning, y'all. Have an awesome, beautiful day, no matter the chaos. That's right, Kelly. Love you, girl. Have a great day, and I miss you like crazy. Understand that. I really miss you. All right. Love and light, my brother.
And light, my
Everybody,
sister.
have a great day. Love you all. Get it? Yeah, get it. Get it right.
Get it right.
All right. Love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.
Peace.